Let's be honest, cleaning rust is a messy, frustrating job, right? You're either blasting it with sand or soaking it in some really nasty chemicals. But what if I told you there's a better way? A way to clean with pure light. Yep, today we're diving into some seriously cool technology that is completely changing the game when it comes to surface cleaning. Let's get into it. But before we get to the sci-fi solution, you really have to grasp the size of the problem we're up against. You see, corrosion isn't just some ugly orange stuff on metal. It's a massive, hidden tax on our entire global economy. It hits everything, from our cars and ships to the machinery that makes our world run. You're seeing that number right, $2.5 trillion. That's the estimated cost of corrosion around the world every single year. And that's not just the cost of replacing a rusty part. We're talking about equipment breaking down, huge maintenance bills, and lost time on production lines. It is a monumental waste of resources. For decades, how have we fought this battle? Well, with brute force, really. Things like sandblasting, chemical stripping, and just grinding it away. And look, they get the job done, sort of, but they have some major drawbacks. They create tons of toxic waste, they're not great for the health of the people doing the work, and they can actually eat away at the good metal underneath. It's kind of like the cure is almost as bad as the disease. So, if the old ways are so messy and destructive, what's the alternative? Well, this is where it gets cool. Enter laser ablation. This is the next-gen solution that zaps corrosion with incredible precision and power, leaving a perfectly clean surface behind with absolutely none of the mess or damage. What makes this whole thing so revolutionary is that it's a totally non-contact process. Think about that. It uses a super-focused beam of light to literally vaporize things like rust, paint, and oil right off the surface. And the best part? It does all this without ever touching or damaging the valuable metal that you're trying to save. Okay, so how does this magic work? It's actually beautifully simple. First, you aim the laser at the rusty spot. Second, the rust absorbs all that intense energy and poof, it instantly vaporizes at incredibly high temperatures. And third, this is the really clever part, the clean metal underneath has a different property. It reflects the laser beam, which means it stays cool and completely untouched. It only targets the bad stuff. It's just brilliant. Now, I know that all sounds amazing in theory, but how does it really stack up against the methods businesses are using right now? Let's stop talking theory and look at the hard data, because the numbers really tell the story here. All right, first up, laser versus sandblasting. With lasers, you get zero abrasive waste. Zero. Sandblasting, you're creating up to 5 kilograms of waste for every single square meter. Lasers have no silica dust hazard, which is a huge deal for worker safety. With sandblasting, it's a major risk. And maybe most importantly, lasers are precise down to the micron, while sandblasting actually strips away part of the good metal. And just look at the operating costs. About 15 cents per square meter for a laser versus over $1 plus disposal fees for sandblasting. It's not even a fair fight. So what about chemical cleaning? Well, with lasers, you use no hazardous materials. Chemical cleaning is all about hazardous materials, meeting all the protective gear and creating nasty waste that can cost a fortune to dispose of, anywhere from $200 to $1,000 a drum. With a laser, the results are instant. With chemicals, you have to wait for it to soak in, then you have to rinse it off. It's a whole time-consuming process that lasers just skip. Okay, so we've seen the technical side. It's cleaner, safer, and more precise. But what does that actually mean for a business, for a workshop, for a real-world production line? Let's translate these features into what really matters, the bottom-line benefits. Let's just run through the highlights. First, it's incredibly environmentally friendly. We're talking zero waste and zero consumables. It's a truly green solution. Second, you get insane precision, so you can clean valuable, delicate parts without a worry. Third, your operating costs just plummet because your only real consumable is electricity. Fourth, it makes for a way safer workplace. And finally, these systems are designed to be easily integrated into modern automated production lines. Of course, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but it must be expensive. That's the question every manager and business owner asks. How long does it take for this thing to pay for itself? What's the real ROI? And the answer is surprisingly fast. Because you're saving so much money on labor, on buying consumables, and on waste disposal, most industrial users see a complete return on their investment in just 1 to 2 years. After that, all those savings go straight to the bottom line year after year. This chart really puts it all into perspective. When you look at the total cost over 5 years, laser cleaning isn't just a little cheaper. It's 31% less expensive than the old ways. And that's before you even try to put a price on the headaches you avoid with regulatory compliance and environmental responsibilities. You just eliminate them. So the case for it is pretty clear. But how does a business actually make the switch? Is it complicated? The good news is the technology has come a long way, and now there's a really clear, accessible path for companies of all sizes to get on board. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, which is great. It's all about matching the right machine to your needs. The options go from smaller entry-level units that are perfect for restoration work or small parts, all the way up to incredibly powerful, fully automated systems built for heavy-duty production lines. There's really a solution for every scale and every budget. And this might be the most surprising part of all. While this sounds like futuristic, expensive tech, you can actually get started with a factory-direct entry-level system for as little as $3,000. This technology isn't just for giant corporations anymore. It's becoming totally accessible for small businesses, local job shops, and even serious hobbyists. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The results from the real world are incredible. Get this, one major auto supplier reported they sped up their process by 38% and cut their labor costs by 67%. I mean, come on, those aren't small improvements. That's a total game changer for efficiency and profit. So we'll just leave you with this one thought to chew on. When you really add it all up, the waste, the safety risks, the time, the potential damage to your valuable parts, is your current cleaning process costing you more than just money? That's the question every modern business really needs to be asking itself.